Welcome back to the shop, guys. Major heat wave here. 2 weeks of high 90s, so I haven't done much of anything in the shop. It's just too darn hot. Air conditioning has had a hard time keeping up with it. So for this video, I'm just going to share a few acquisitions, some toys that somebody might be interested in, and some food for thought too. So interesting stuff. Hope you enjoy. See you next time. Showed this guy in a video not too long ago for stopping chips from flying all over the place. Used it a few times. It's not really the most elite, in my opinion, method for doing this, but I like this base too. This is a Noga base. Can't remember whether I just bought the base alone. It looks like it because of that. I know where that came from. So yeah, I just bought the magnet by itself, and it is very, very strong. So, but I was watching a video the other day. I think it was Outside Screwball's channel or something like that, where he was using lock line with a big plastic shield, which I thought was a lot more elite, useful. So I'm going to try it myself. I made a base, a simple 1.5 inch, put magnets, 5 neodymium magnets in it, so that's going to really hold it in place. And he did something, I don't know what he did with this tip. I couldn't even see what he did with the base, but I think he just kind of taped the big piece of plastic to this thing. So I wanted something a little more elite, kind of playing with this so far. Metric, it was a few thousandths under, so boy, it fits nice and tight in there too. Push come to shove, I was thinking, you know, I could put set screws if it eventually gets loose, so I don't want to put it in there yet. This, I was figuring just mill flats on it like that, put some set screws in there. I still have to get the plastic. I don't have it yet. So hopefully next week, next Wednesday, I'll be in the area where this plastic supply place is. And it'll be nice too if it's a big piece, and then I can heat it and kind of bend it, because I want it to kind of go under the ways or whatever to keep chips off the floor and me and my feet. What was I going to say? No, I forgot. All right, so that'll be cool if I can bend it, and bigger shield. That's what I was gonna say, because this, you know, it kind of gets in the way. You really, a bigger piece further away, stopping everything, and I could see through it. So I've got better visibility on what I'm doing. So that's kind of where I am for now with this guy. I think it's, you know, pretty promising, because you can put it all over the place. This will be great. Didn't record much of this, but did so far. This guy too, when I peeled back that plastic protective stuff on both sides, I could swear this was clear. But in any case, I'll go back and find a clear piece, 1/4 inch. No, that was 125 thousandths. 5mm. Set screws to hold it. This guy isn't strong enough. It moves at the base, but that's a lot of mechanical advantage, so I got to take some of the pieces out of it, shorten it up, and then I want to try to lighten it up. And I got a pretty good gap down here, so I can cut more off of this and bring it over, because the chips basically, you know, the cutter's right here. I've got it in there now, and the chips always wind up going straight down right here. So I need to bring that in, and that'll tighten that up. Shorten it up. I probably could take a little bit off of it, because I'm sure the chips are not going to go on the floor. Nice thing too is I can just pull this and put it on the other lathe, so I can do whatever I want with it. But yeah, it does not stay up. It can ride on that. And the nice thing is I can go all the way in. The cutter's not going to hit the chuck. So if I bring it in, it's still going to keep the chips all over the place and keep them from flying up over on me. And actually the cutter's like right here, so they might still come over. So I may have to raise it up more, huh? I can angle it, I can do all kinds of things here. So, well, I got enough of plastic that I can try a bunch of different things, but that's basically it. This I can't push in, it's so tight. May have to do some tool or something, or the press, and just get it pushed in there, but it's not moving, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So there it is, food for thought, an idea. You guys are tired of the chips and stuff like me. Drink. Oh, it kind of holds it up. Okay. These guys are pretty cool. I was going to make them myself, but I'm like, no. I saw them first on Banggood, which gave me the idea. $5.83. I'll put a link in the description to them if interested, all you woodworker guys. Even give you the Allen wrench. What are they? How many times have you been trying to drill a hole for a hinge on the fence, you name it, and inevitably it's got a funneled shaped hole for the screw, and inevitably you never drill a hole in the center. That's what this is for. It sits, makes it, forces the drill bit to stay on center with the funnel hole as you push the drill bit in. Boy, that's a pretty strong spring too. Chromed, these things look gorgeous. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't try to make them, but there's 3 sizes here. I guess this is for the bigger fence one. This is probably for inside cabinetry, and then I don't know what the middle one's for, but pretty cool. So again, I'll put a link in the description if interested. I'm going to do this section in pieces because I had everything laid out, all the stuff I was going to talk about, one item at a time, and completely messed up reviewing that video. Holding a 5C collet, calling it an ER32. But so you saw this guy. I just wanted to add that I have used it and it works great. I still obviously need to get the right plastic and play with the size, but lock line, I've always looked for the tool to take these apart and put them together, and every place you look, Amazon, wherever, they do say it does take them apart and it puts them together. For the heck of it, I went on YouTube and I found a video made by Lock Line, the manufacturer, and they clearly tell you that the tool that everybody has only puts these things together. It does not take them apart, and it's a pain getting them apart. But he showed you stick a screwdriver or something in there and you can bend it enough that it just pops out. I'm not going to buy the tool because it's pretty easy to put them together, and that trick works getting them apart. Took a bunch of links out, kind of got the size, the right size. I may go further, but it's plenty stiff now. This does not droop or anything. You can see all the magnets, neodymiums that I have in there to hold it in place. So I'm very pleased with this guy, and looking forward to finishing it and getting it correct. I'll tell you the trouble you can get into when your biorhythm is way down. So let me start with this. On the tool grinder that I did the video on, if you're trying to hold stock that's the exact same size as your 5C collet, it works perfect because it clamps here. This is stationary, note. So it's snug back here, and this is clamping on it, and you don't get any wobble. But 9 times out of 10, I'm trying to hold something that I'm going to grind. I'm making a bit or a cutter or a boring tool or something, and it's not the exact size. So what happens is the back of it wobbles. The front is held, but the back is wobbling. So, and I like the ER32s because you can tell the way it's cut here that both the front and the back collapse on the part. This is why I love this for the lathe and the mill, especially the lathe, because again, 9 times out of 10, I'm not holding something that's the right size. It's just a little bit off. So I had stumbled across this wonderful thing here, and I didn't even know it existed. Got it from Banggood, a 5C, and this is where the biorhythm was off. I screwed up. I was looking for an ER11 because I've got the ER11 set for the CNC, the 3018. This is an ER16. But look at the machining on this. I have never seen anything this gorgeous and perfect in my life. If this would have been an ER11, I would have been in Fat City and dancing. But the problem with this, even though it's machined well, is, oh, I forgot, I gotta bring another piece over here. It's the wrong size. They screwed up the groove. The width wasn't to spec, and the depth wasn't to spec. And that's where I need to bring something over here. I think it's this guy. No, this is the bigger one. This guy. Yeah, I think this is the one. No, this is a bigger one, but one's even really small. This is hardened, you know, right? This is supposed to be hardened steel. I had bought this, the entire set, a long time ago, Drillpro, and it says micro grain carbide end mill, but it just went right through it like nobody's business, and I was figuring I was gonna wreck the thing. No, it came out when it was done. It was smaller than this, teeny little guy. I just grabbed the wrong one from the drawer, but the tips are just razor sharp still. So I'd highly recommend this. I'll put a link to it in the description for you guys. This too, if you want it. I still can't figure out why it doesn't go in, because I backed the screw all the way out. I'm using my collet blocks right now. And with the screw backed out pretty far, this will just fit in the square collet block, 5C one. Won't go in the octangular one though, for some reason. It just hits right here. I've mic'd this, and I've mic'd the 5C. I don't know what's going on, so I'm gonna keep figuring this out. And if I can get it to work, then I might buy the ER16 set for what the heck. You know, it's pretty cheap for a whole metric and imperial set. So that's what happens when you buy rhythms down. Oh yeah, duh. Later on, I just realized, hey stupid, you bought this thing a long time ago. It's the ER11. I remember checking it, it's like perfect. Duh. And it fits tight. There it is. So I have that in an 11 for the tool grinder to hold things nice and straight for whatever I do, and I can use my existing set. I did start looking around, seeing, you know, the sets that I bought, the 16s, you know, they're like typical made in China, but looking to see if I can find a reasonably priced, really good precision set that I can use on the 3018 and here for the tool grinder. All right, next up, Banggood, $5, $9. I'll put a link in the description for those interested. There are both 20 millimeters, but when I see stuff like this that cheap, I pick it up, because you know it's going to take weeks for it to get here, and I don't need it yet. But boy, when I want to do something really fine or something funky on the tool grinder, I have it. This guy too, it came diamond, you know, obviously. Came with this little adapter that's 20 millimeters, and the adapter brings it down to 15, so I won't need that, whatever. So, okay, this guy is so thin, it's not going to mount on any of the 20 millimeters adapters that I made. If you remember, I showed a video on making a couple of them out of aluminum. So I figured, you know, I got to make at least one more. I'd like to make 2 so that these are permanently mounted. So it takes a lot of material to, you know, to start cutting a ton of chips. But in any case, I found a piece of scrap, 2-inch, sitting in my scrap drawer that was perfect. So rather than wasting it, put it in the lathe and made the nut here for the adapter, one of the adapters. I haven't drilled the 4 holes here for the wrench that tightens it down. And then I was thinking too, you know, to do that, yeah, I use the blue DRO hole function, put in the radius and so on. But you mount this in the vise and it's going to make marks. And I was just dawned on me, you know, hey, wait a minute. You can buy V-blocks in metal, cast iron, everything under the sun, but I've never seen one out of plastic. So I've got plenty of this high density molecular weight stuff or whatever. And so here's the 45, and then I haven't finished this one yet, 60 degrees. It's going to hold it perfectly. Just put tape, or I have plastic parallels that I had machined a long time ago, probably go here. But, you know, and these things are a blast to make because it's plastic. You can make incredibly deep cuts, so you're kind of done within a few minutes making them. And I use my own precision-made angle blocks, the 45 and 60, to make these, or mount them in the vise, and then just took the 1-inch, no, it's a 3/4 end mill over it to do it, and same way with this one. So that's just kind of where I am with this. Eventually I'm going to cut this 2-inch piece and make the thick washer that I need to clamp on that thing, and then make another adapter. And if I'm not really burned out and overloaded with chips, I'll make a second adapter. 2 more items. I think I can handle 2 at the same time without messing up. I did a video a long time ago on making this Machinist Jack. And I know a lot of people make stacking ones, but I thought this would be kind of cool, less stuff in my tool drawer. And I have used this. It works great, and I could actually make some stacking pieces if I need. But I never made one with a V-groove. I saw somebody using one on YouTube, obviously, but with a V-groove in it, and I have used this on stuff where I should have had one. So I was thinking about making another one of these center pieces with the V-slot. And since these threads are much finer than these, obviously if this has to stay put on the material, when you unscrew this is screwing in. But since that's finer than that, I have a feeling I can set it real close, and then when I back this out, it should be able to come up and hit the surface. So just food for thought or whatever. And the next item up, I did a video, well, a lot of my videos, people have seen me on the granite surface, granite plate, and they can't afford it. And because of one person, I did a video a long time ago on, can you use a granite countertop, a piece of a granite countertop? And like, no, you'd be luck of the draw if it's flat. My wife came across this at a thrift store. It's a hobby mat, glass mat. This one's made by EK Success. And I did check this out, and this sucker is really flat. It's super thick. I did some lapping on it already. I mean, this size, I don't know what, well, I guess you can tell by this, you know, how big this thing is. They're cheap. And it fits an 8x10 or whatever piece of sandpaper nicely. Did some lapping on it, and then checked the surface that I lapped on the granite plate, and it was definitely within a half a thou. So I didn't do a whole lot of long lapping, but so if you're looking for something to do, or even, you know, check, put a surface gauge test indicator on top of to check some stuff at home, and you can't afford a big expensive plate, This is the way to go. I've seen them on Amazon and I can't remember some of the other places, but go and check this stuff out. It works out really nice. Alright, I know the lighting isn't the greatest in the world here, but I was watching Maddie's workshop and he was going to repair a plastic tire. So, of course, he's going to bore out the center of it to clean it up because the axle wore it out, and then make a bushing that goes in there and another axle. But on his boring head, he put a dial indicator, and all of a sudden 6,000 light bulbs went off. I've never checked my boring head. You know, this is a Criterion. Made in Costa Mesa, so it's not metric, whatever. But I've always just trusted it. And when you think about it, if I want to make, take a 10 thousandths off in ID, inside diameter, you move this 5 thousandths because you're taking 5 off that side, 5 off that side, so you took 10 thousandths off. This clearly on the side says 1 division of this little dial here is 1,000th. So if you want to take 1,000th off, trying to do something really precise, it's got to be accurate to a half a thou. Wow. So, all right. So I've got one of the set screws here tightened up. So I've got drag on this guy. I've visually straightened everything out as best I can see. I've got the spindle locked with that little trick thing that I showed in the video not too long ago. So let's take this guy up on a digit. I gotta move this around so I can see what I'm doing. Alright, I need a magnifying glass so I know I'm really on it. And I passed it, so okay. That's on 25 thou. Now let's try to zero this guy out. Wrong way, Dave. Put him on to 0. I'm not sure how well the camera's going to see all this. Am I going the right way? Yeah. Alright, so put him on 0. So now if I move 10 thou, that should move 5 thou, right? Am I on the 0? Yeah, I'm real close on it. Right, so if I move 10, no. Yeah, if I move 10 thou, well, let's see what happens. Enough of trying to figure things out. Yeah, if I move 10, it's supposed to take 5 off or something. I don't know. Alright, so I'm on, I need to light in a better spot. There we go. So there's 5 thou. Well, let's just say what 5 thousandths does. That should be 2.5 on this dial. And bingo, it is almost right on 2.5. It's just shy. So let's take it up to the 10 mark and slowly creep up there right on it. So this should be 5 thou. And it's shy of it by a quarter. Alright, let me move up another 10 here. Alright, so that's 5 and that's 10. What is it? And it's shy by a half a thou now. So yeah, I can't trust this thing too much. That's interesting. I wonder what happens if do I come back to 0? Let's try that, huh? Oh, need the light back over here. There we go. Alright. So, I don't know where, I was at 25, I think. So, undo it. Oops. Get the play out of it. Put it back on 25. And it's over 0. Just barely, like a 1/10. So interesting. And if I ever have to do something where I'm like trying to hit a half a thou, you got to use a dial indicator, and I'm not sure how you do it because you got to remove it. Is this solid? Yeah. I should be able to hit the same spot every time just to make sure here. Yep, it's solid. Yeah, it's hitting the exact same spot. So I don't know whether, I don't think I'm angled that much. If I take this out, tweak it slightly. Oh, ooh, yeah. I got a different reading now. So I don't know what happened. Oh, probably because I just touched this, right? Yeah. Oh, there's play in here. Interesting. You can move this guy back and forth. So even for, I think, Criterion, the best of the best, interesting that you're not going to do a half a thou. I know that. I think so. That's pretty solid there. Yeah. Right? Now it's moving the whole mill. I guess it's... need a magnifying glass. Let me put it back on 0, huh? Put it back on 0. There we go. Now push on the top of it. That's good. And push up here. Yeah, it stays on it pretty much. Let's play in the column. So it'd be interesting if I'm trying to do something at least to a thou, whether you can hit it. It's kind of like you play with it.